Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Joyce Danger with Mary Kay, and I wanted to share just some thoughts about the concept of faith, family, and career. And this is kind of a touchy one for a lot of us because Mary Kay does ask that we put our faith first, family second, and career third. And sometimes we tout this off like, that's the reason I'm doing this is because I put my priorities in order and all that sort of thing. And sometimes we use it as an excuse for not doing some of the things that we maybe should be doing. Because we're prioritizing ourselves kind of right out of business or right out of success. So hopefully, please take it in the spirit that it was intended, in that I'm trying to help you be successful and to help kind of gauge your decisions, because every single day we have a list of things to do and decisions to make about what we're going to do or what we're not going to do. And just kind of some of the gauge that I use in terms of how to decide what I'm going to do or what I'm not going to do. Mary Kay is a vehicle that can change the life for yourself and for your family. So I look at it as my family is my reason, my why of why I want to succeed, why I want the financial benefits that Mary Kay has, the flexibility that Mary Kay has throughout the years. I've been with Mary Kay for a long time now, and I've been able to raise my children as an available mom. I've been able to care for elderly parents and care for grandchildren. Now this week I've had grandbabies who were sick and had to take a little time to take care of them while their parents went to work and different things like that. So it has given me a lot of choices to have the lifestyle that I have, but a lot of it is because of the choices that I made along the way. So hopefully this gives you a little something to look at. So first of all, we put our faith first, and what I wanted just to kind of give you food for thought, but is it your faith, or are we just kind of having the faith that we inherited from somebody else? And so are we taking it personal, and is God our first priority, or is He the last resort? So, sometimes if all else fails, then we pray, or I would encourage you to pray first and make that a priority, at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, throughout the day. Really take God as your partner, as your life partner, and as your partner in decisions that you make, and He will send you right along the path of what's best for you and what's best for your family. Okay, so your family comes next, and that's really touchy because they pull us in a lot of different directions, and not always in the directions that are best for our family long term. Sometimes there's a whiny little somebody who wants something right away, and they're going to throw a little fit about it. And I'd like to say the whiny little somebody is always a toddler, but it isn't necessarily. Sometimes it's a teenager, or maybe it's somebody that you're married to that might be wanting whatever they want right now. So what I try to look at is my priorities, long-term priorities, short-term priorities, so that I can gauge whatever is being asked of me against those priorities. Because we always find time for the things that are really important, and it's deciding, is whatever it is it really important? So looking at our highest priorities and having the courage to be pleasantly persistent, and sometimes not apologetically, but to say no. That sometimes we need to say, okay, if whatever's being asked of us doesn't fit in with my priorities, that I can say no to other things, and so that and the easiest way to do that is by having a bigger reason, a bigger yes burning inside of you. So if I know that I really want this, say the next step of the career path or something like that, that I know that that's going to provide a better lifestyle for myself and for my family, it's much easier to say no to some of the ditzy little things that come up along the way, because the enemy of the best is often just the good, comfortable, and sometimes that good just gets stuck and we don't go for the best. And this is something, actually a quote from Stephen Covey. Sometimes too, looking at the people in our lives, sometimes we outgrow people. It's not that they're a bad person or that you're a bad person, but sometimes it just happens, our priorities change, that we maybe used to like to spend a lot of time with somebody, and that things that they want are no longer the things that we want, and you find that you're just going in different directions. And you may have noticed that when you went to, when you went to school or went to college, that, the people who went in a different path just didn't go the same direction as you went, and they can still be our friends, I can still love them, but maybe I choose to spend less time with them. Sometimes there's negative people in our life, and those negative people need drama like oxygen. And if we stay positive, sometimes we just take their breath away. So I let the negative people and that need the drama, they can watch it on TV. There's all sorts of what they call reality TV, and that can feed that negative stuff. But I don't have time for reality TV. I don't think it's real, so I don't want to spend I'd rather live my own reality life and have big high definition dreams and goals and things that I want to do and be able to live that life and not just watch it on TV. We've had some really interesting gals in our unit just recently who have shown the faith, family, career thing in living color, and I just want to tell you a little bit about these three gals. One of them, her name is Barb, and her mom is in hospice right now, and Barb has been working in between things, and she has, her mom has good days and she has bad days, and when Barb schedules an appointment, she lets her customers know that her mom is in hospice and so things could change. So she just, as she's scheduling it, she just lets them know that, she's a caretaker for her mom. So if something changes, if I need to cancel it or change it, I'll let you know, and, would that be okay with you? And so the people know that, and then she says, if something changes for you too, would you be able to let me know? And then, can I call you or text you so that, they know how to communicate that? And quite frankly, we should all be doing that in our coaching of our appointments anyway, so that if something changes, because life happens, and, sometimes things change and we have to get a hold of somebody, and I want to make sure that my customer lets me know if something changes, so I'm not waiting, wouldn't you hate to go to somebody, we've all been to somebody's house where you knock on the door and they don't answer the door, and something changed, and, now in today's world with cell phones and texting, we should be able to get a hold of each other, and I always make sure now to text before the appointment or call before the appointment just to make sure it's on anyway. I mean, I don't say, are we still on, but I find some lame excuse to connect up anyway. But Barb just works that right in with her booking the appointment, so she's still able to continue to do her business right along with what's going on with her mom. And her mom is actually on an upswing right now, so things are going well, but she, it doesn't mean that you just stop everything because life happens, and so she can continue to work her business at whatever pace works for her in her life right now. Another gal I want to tell you about is Monica. Monica's a caregiver for her uncle who has to have chemo treatment, so she takes him for those treatments. I don't know if it's once or twice a week or something like that, but she's the person who's in charge of that, and she schedules those things into her appointments or into her life first, and then works her Mary Kay around that. And so that Mary Kay does give us the flexibility to be able to do that, but that can come first. And a lot of that kind of stuff we can arrange that first and, put that in as a priority. And then the other person I want to tell you about is our Patricia. Our Patricia lost her brother just in the last couple of weeks, and he just never woke up. He's, in his 40s. And she did what she had to do, took care of, the funeral and all the arrangements and everything like that, but she still completed the challenge for the slumber party. Congratulations, Patricia. And she continued to come to the sales meetings. She didn't have to, but she knew where her support was. She knew where her girlfriends and her sisters that would be there to support her would be, and rather than, running away from that, she continued to do what she could do at whatever level she could continue to work at, and her goal didn't change. Maybe the time frame, she maybe didn't hold as many appointments as she might have been holding prior to that, but she kept doing what she could do in spite of the circumstances. And I am so proud of these ladies, and I think we can all learn from their stories and from their circumstances that, life is going to happen, and it's sometimes there's, really good and exciting things happening, and sometimes there's hard things happening, and that we can keep working our business through all of this stuff. And one of the neat things about Mary Kay is it's such a positive business, and so doing makeovers with the ladies and doing positive, fun things, it's kind of a positive thing in view of some hard times. And I know when I've gone through hard times in my life, it's just nice to know that I can play makeup with somebody and make her smile and make her feel good, and that can be that just change from all the hospital stuff and all the other kind of stuff that sometimes we have to deal with. So it does definitely, and it puts a different perspective on when somebody's trying to make their lack of planning be your emergency, and then people who say, well, my family comes first and I need to do whatever. Well, sometimes is this really an emergency, or does somebody just kind of have a hangnail and they're being whiny and they're fine? And so these ladies have really helped me to see and remind me that our priorities need to be faith, family, and career, but they're not that ditzy little stuff, all the other things that we kind of confuse in there. And sometimes when we're so busy putting all that other stuff in there, then we never reach the goal that we're trying to set for ourselves and what we want for our family. And ultimately the family is the one who's going to benefit from us making those tough decisions. And sometimes we just have to sweetly and nicely say, I love you, honey, but I do need to go do this. I committed to this goal or this appointment or whatever it is that I said I was going to do. I'm a woman of my word, and you're going to be fine. And if I know indeed they're going to be fine, or is this really a priority? And I think we learn from that, and I know my kids have learned the difference between a priority and something that's just a weeny whiny little thing. So if it's important to you, you're going to find a way to work through it. If it's not an important, then you'll find an excuse, and so then whatever it is just not going to happen. So then our number 3 thing is faith, family, career. And when we say career, I'm referring to if you've got another job outside of Mary Kay, or those of you who are college students, your college is your career, and that needs to take priority. Faith, family, career. But then is Mary Kay next? Is that next on the line, or is that down another 10 or 15 notches? And looking at your priorities, what would you put as the number 4 thing in your life? Is it your Mary Kay career, or is it something else? But I would encourage you to make a list so that you know really what is that number 4 thing. What is number 5? Where does Mary Kay fit in? So as you're trying to make decisions of what you're going to do next, that you have kind of a list of what's important and what comes next. And then the key is not to prioritize what's in your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. And that's a quote from Stephen Covey. And I hope that this helps you to decide what you want to do next, and then also what you politely want to say no to. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk